Hello, welcome back to the U.S. President series. If you're enjoying these videos, please subscribe to my channel. In this video, I'll be reviewing Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. So Lincoln was elected in 1860. He defeated John Breckinridge by a margin of 180 to 72 electoral votes. Lincoln ran on the ticket of a new party that was emerging and becoming popular in the North, the Republican Party. This party was an extension of the formerly popular Whig Party. Lincoln was born into poverty in a log cabin. He was self-educated and became a lawyer, and then eventually was a congressman for the Whig Party and served in the House of Representatives in the late 1840s. He only served one term in the House of Representatives as he became unpopular due to his opposition to the Mexican-American War. And after he was not reelected in the House, he returned to law until 1854. And then in 1854, he re-entered politics and became a leader in the Republican Party, for which he was elected president in. He continued to become more popular in the 1850s. He became popular when he debated Stephen Douglas in the late 1850s. After being elected in 1860, there was a Southern secessionist movement that started. It began with South Carolina and eventually included 7 states. This all started around December of 1860. To attempt to restore the Union forces were set to occupy Fort Sumter in April of the following year, of 1861, when the South Carolina militia fired artillery at the Union-occupied Fort Sumter. Lincoln had a reason to declare war and did so. Lincoln called on War Secretary appointee Edwin Stanton to centralize Union war efforts after the Confederacy made significant progress in their battles in this war in 1861, including at the Battle of Bull Run. This was a victory for the South. This battle was also known as the First Battle of Manassas. Around this time, Lincoln also appoints General McClellan, a general of the Union Army. McClellan was seen as not progressing and that he underestimated the strength of the South, and his decision that active troops weren't necessary to defend the nation's capital caused him to lose popularity. After Confederate troops withdrew from the Battle of Antietam, which was the bloodiest of the Civil War battles, McClellan actually resisted Lincoln's demand to wage war on Southern General Lee's withdrawing troops. And this caused Lincoln to be upset and replace McClellan. And what Lincoln originally thought would be a war only lasting weeks, this was clearly a much larger battle than he initially anticipated. In 1862, Lincoln passed the Confiscation Act of 1862, which aided convicted slaves, and he also passed an act to free slaves from all federal territory. Later that year in September, Lincoln affirmed the freedom of slaves in 10 states in the Confederacy as well, under what was known as the Emancipation Proclamation, today known as one of Lincoln's greatest achievements. Lincoln commented that he never in his life felt more certain that he was doing the right thing than he did when he signed that paper. After another major battle, and what was considered to be the turning point for the war and for the Union, the Battle of Gettysburg, Lincoln delivered what is generally regarded as the greatest presidential speech in history. The 272-word, very concise Gettysburg Address, in which his famous final words are, "The government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from this earth." After this, Union General Ulysses S. Grant saw major Union victories at the Battle of Shiloh and Vicksburg. The South surrendered to Grant in April of 1864, at the Appomattox Courthouse. Lincoln would be reelected to a second term and had plans of Reconstruction for the South. However, on April 14th of 1865, his further plans were cut short by Confederate sympathizer John Wilkes Booth at Ford Theater. Lincoln's ability to restore the national unity at its most vulnerable time in history, his tremendous oratory skills, and his civil rights leadership propel him to generally be considered the most effective president in history.